Because I still haven't read what he said.
It's probably not cool to say, but it's Kanye West. That's just it.
Listen to the new Lucky.
He's the best.
What we did last stream.
Collab with Kanye or Maru motherfucking West.
You gotta do one of these in front of your idol. Sneeze, burp, or fart.
I'm gonna have to go with fart, but like my favorite artist ever is Kanye. So I don't think I'd mind farting in front of Kanye. He would probably.
This is crazy.
He'd fuck with that shit. He baptized me.
Best artist, living or dead?
Well, I used to have a go-to answer for that, but this motherfucker talked his way out of that. So let me think, bro. I don't know, man. It's Kanye, man. I gotta still say Kanye. That's the only person I can think of, even though he's batshit insane.
So you said that, right? Remember he said that.
Is there anybody you're looking forward to working with, or is that like kind of?
That's under wraps. That's definitely under wraps. But I want to work with Kanye still. I don't give a fuck.
Kanye West is the best person at making a final product. Every one of his final products changes niggas' lives. College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, 808s, Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Stop there. You knew to stop there. You had to stop there.
He's the best to me. To me, he's the bar, personally. Like, just all time. My favorite artist of all time. That's probably my biggest influence.
But the biggest influence for me on that is Kanye, because Kanye is the best at that. I don't even know how he does it, yo. He's the absolute best at taking like an idea and just presenting it in a crazy way. So that's what I try to do. I try to take complex ideas and present them in simple ways, in ways that'll make you jig rather than turn you off.
I agree with him too. He just speaking facts right there.
But you also, like many of us, revere Kanye.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And you said that I'm not going to judge Kanye because who knows what type of stupid shit I would say when I'm over 40.
The Kanye shit, yeah.
What? Wait, what? I think he did the reverse of that. Like, of course we all did stupid shit when we was younger, but he's saying it like for the future. Like, of course I'm going to do stupid shit soon.
Many of us revere Kanye.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And you said that I'm not going to judge Kanye because who knows what type of stupid shit I would say when I'm over 40.
The Kanye shit, yeah. When I'm 40, I'm 30, right? I just turned 30. When I'm 40, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to think. There's no telling. I watched Kanye get on fucking paid programming and say, George Bush don't care about black people.
That's right.
So, like, I have a different perspective.
He was our hero.
I'm saying, bro, I'm like, at some point, or this nigga knows what the fuck he's doing. So, like, if he's doing it, I don't know what his reasoning is. I don't know what he's going through, etc. But Kanye has earned the right from me because, like, College Dropout, etc., etc.
Well, I did not think that this would be his reasoning.
This man is...
Like, he made music. He's a staple in my life, you know what I'm saying? I get that everybody got their, favorites artistically. I don't get how that changes what's being said.
This nigga has earned the right to do whatever the fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
If you really look back, this nigga dropped College Dropout, classic. Late Registration, classic.
Talib should educate him. Do you know the type of shit Talib been on?
Graduation, classic. He could have just stopped. Then he did 808s. Then this nigga dropped Dark Twisted Fantasy. And then he could have just stopped. Then he did Yeezus. What is wrong with this nigga? You know what I'm saying?
And just to make sure niggas understand, you never earned the right to be a bigot. You never earned the right to try to represent people falsely when they have real life consequences. You never earned that right. You'll never have the right to do that.
Like, he's crazy. He's the best, yo. He's the absolute best.
that's it.
Yeah.
That basically sums up my feelings on it. Kanye made Jesus walk.
And then he dropped Life of Pablo, too. I love that shit, too. Like, his final products, he's excellent at editing things down, so I look up to him a lot.
Favorite Kanye project?
It's Life of Pablo now.
What was it before?
Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Well, which project out of the ones you've named would you look to as the biggest, I don't know, your favorite in some way?
From him?
Yeah.
I'd probably say either Dark Twisted Fantasy, Yeezus, or Life of Pablo is my favorite ones of him. Probably Dark Twisted Fantasy.
You've said in your music, never going blonde like Kanye.
Promise I will never go blonde like Kanye. Hold up. Promise I will never go blonde like Kanye.
But what's your favorite Kanye song in the album?
That's hard. My favorite Kanye song it might be Runaway and Dark Twisted Fantasy. It's hard. It's gonna be hard to knock Dark Twisted Fantasy off because
When Dark Twisted Fantasy came out, I was in the military and I had to escort someone to a psych ward because they tried to they pulled a knife on one of the officers. So I had to escort him to a psych ward, and I had to stay in the psych ward with this guy. And Dark Twisted Fantasy dropped like that day, and I was just listening to it in a psych ward, like, what?
That's a crazy place to be when that album drops. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't know what headspace niggas were in when that album came out, or what it did for them. You feel me?
I was like, what? It blew my fucking mind, yo. So I don't think anything he does can replace that, just because of the time and moment I was in. I was like 20, and yeah, it changed my life.
When that came out, I was
like, you don't understand. Like, if I'd have listened to, like, with the information I have now, if I were like 20 something listening to the Blueprint or listening to Late Registration.
This is my favorite Kanye album. The
like
production on it stuck with me in high school.
If one of those records came out like right now, and I was in a crazy place at the time, I don't know what a record like that would do for me. I really don't know.
In the desert in Kuwait, and I was counting the days to when I was gonna leave. And
because factually speaking, there has not been a record that has come out in those ranges within the last, I won't say that. Nah, I can't say that. Damn. It's been too long? Nah, I can't say that. Publicly though. I mean, in terms of everybody else knowing about it too, like it being like a large cultural statement, in years. Like a good 5 years. And I'm not talking about the Kendrick shit.
Dark Twisted Fantasy came out a month before I dipped, so I knew like when Dark Twisted Fantasy came out, I got a month left. So it's gonna be hard to top that.
Igor? My brother in Christ. Sorry to tell you this. I fuck with Tyler heavy. That album not moving the needle culturally. I'm just gonna be honest with you, gang. When you outside and shit like that, like it's an amazing record. I will never take anything away from Tyler for making that. But I'm talking about moving the needle outside. It's not the same. It's not the same, and it's okay. It's still an amazing album. It's still an amazing body of work.
What did you think of him being brought out of Rolling Loud last minute?
Oh, he canceled?
Yeah, he canceled, but he got brought out. I'm pretty sure Lil Durk brought him out as Cuddy was getting booed.
Sean Khaled, low key. I'm not calling him mysterious though.
And he played Father Stretch My Hands Part 2, and Cuddy is on.
What the? Wait, why did he cancel if he just showed up anyway? I don't even. That's a funny dude, man.
Kanye comes around your house. What are you cooking, Kanye?
Something kosher.
JPEGMAFIA, as a kid, you once stole.
Wait, when did this happen?
Some CDs?
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm. What CDs were they?
I stole a Corinne Bailey Rae CD, and I stole, I think Kanye West Graduation. I think I stole those two CDs from Walmart. But they were clean. Well, the Kanye one was clean.
Walmart had they shit just out in public, out in the open. That was when shit was easy. You can get some CDs, some DVDs. You can get anything, bro. Slit the wrapping out that bitch. Have a little knife on the end of your keys, bro. Easy pickings.
For you personally as an artist, where does lyricism stand as terms of just like a value?
It's super important, yo. Like, I don't know. There's so many lines. I know you have lines from people that like have hit you hard and stayed with you. Like there's Kanye lines that have stayed with me for years.
I wouldn't say his albums were cultural resets necessarily, but do you think The Weeknd influenced a genre with his music?
Of course. The Weeknd is, very highly influential, but as it stands, there would probably not be a landscape for The Weeknd also without Kanye. I don't want people to think that there's like this area in my mind where I'm dismissing Kanye's impact on the world as an entity, as a statement, as a work of art outside of the person. I get the connection and the tie that people have to him 100%, but you got to have a stop. You got to have a cutoff at some point. You have to have a cutoff. Bro.
But you're talking about so Dead or Alive is a Cameron song that Kanye produced. I didn't know he actually produced it. I just like the
There has to be a limit, you know, a breaking point of sorts.
song, but I found out later and I was like, that makes sense because I actually love Kanye.
His influence on me is so strong that like it like I don't agree with the MAGA shit. You know, as you don't.
It's time for me to talk some shit. Listen, y'all seen in SNL, right? They had a skit about Kanye, like after the fact when he was on.
Why though? Why can't you split the artist and the person? You could, but some people stand on business a little bit stricter than that. And also, when you put a lot of your ideas in the music that you make, Kanye has done that, especially within recent years. It affects the way people listen to your music to a point where they have to have an opinion on the shit that you're putting in their music, where you otherwise would be like, okay, I don't care about this. This is what he says in his personal life. But no, it falls into the music. He puts the MAGA shit in there. He talks about his political views. He talks about Jews in there. He jokes and clowns on certain shit. It's just not some shit that you should be doing if you want to separate it like that.
The show or whatever. Why didn't they just do it when he was on the show? He was wearing a Trump hat to the show. They should have said some shit about that. The way it was presented was that it was this big moment in like Pete Wentz. Or what was his name?
I feel like you can't blame people for the impact an artist has on them, but you do have to address their actions, especially when it's part of the content of your music. Yeah, for sure.
Pete Davidson went at Kanye or something, but it's not brave. It's not nothing. It's just a skit. You prepared it after the fact, and I don't respect it. Here's the fact of the matter. If you knew Kanye was like that, you let him on the show knowing you get publicity, and then after the fact, you made this like big statement and everybody applauded you, and it was just bullshit. It was just niggas clapping for no fucking reason. You didn't do anything. You accomplished nothing. You still paid him whatever the fuck y'all did. The transaction happened, and then you talk shit afterwards. That's some bitch ass shit. If I ever saw Kanye, I would let him know how I feel in real time. Not a week later, not in a tweet. I would tell him how I feel right then, because that's the only way you're gonna get the point across.
But like, it's Kanye. Like this is a grown ass black man. I'm gonna like. I've never met this man.
Do I hate Morrissey as a person? I've never met him. I don't. Morrissey's not really worth a piece of garbage to me. I don't really care. It's more like the idea of him that I want to slap the shit out of. So yeah.
Hope he lets him know how he feels. Well, I think he was speaking from the perspective of Pete Davidson, not for himself. He might not give a fuck. I don't know what his public stance on a lot of these things have been. I just know it look a little shaky because I've seen him call out other people for questionable shit.
Would you think the same about Kanye West?
About Kanye? Man.
Because it's the same situation.
I mean,
brilliant,
honestly,
genius musical artist.
I mean, if you look at the way I've been reacting to it, it is kind of going down that road. But man, because I don't know what he's doing, man. I just don't know what he's doing.
I will meet him and talk to him before I pass judgment.
Absolutely. I'm sure he's a fan of yours too.
Whoa, that is a lot of grace afforded to somebody who's openly bigoted like that, bro.
Man, if Kanye was a fan of me, I'd probably cry, bro.
That is a lot to get to this point. It's a lot. He dick riding heavy. He made veteran. He made veteran. He made veteran. I mean, hey, man. So, okay, that's the precursor to this. So we know how big of a fan that JPEGMAFIA is of Kanye West. So this is what this tweet ends up being about, and I kind of wanted to link it into the J. Cole and Kendrick thing, or J. Cole and Kodak thing, my fault. He says, when I said I love an artist, there's nothing political about it. Ye is my favorite artist of all time. I've been saying it for years. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here, period. And I love him, period. It's offensive to me that some people on here took a moment that I have been waiting on my whole life and twisted it into some weird oppression Olympics. You can't play oppression Olympics with a grown black man who's dealt with racism in real time. So please shut the actual fuck up and keep bumping the artists y'all like that beat bitches up and R-word girls in real life, because that's your reality, not mine. Don't round me up to be a Nazi because you're sheltered and stupid and have no respect or context for anything black or my experiences as a black man in this country. Just go back to them Reddits, or just go back to Reddit. I make goals and I achieve them. You make mean Reddit threads. We will never be alike no matter how much you want it to be, or whatever he's saying. That sounds like some bullshit, to me personally. I look at this, and while I do agree that people shouldn't take a moment of you being a fan and like twist and contort it into something else, I also don't think that addresses people seeing, some pretty blatant hypocrisy come from your side on this. And I think it's okay to just sit there and be like, you know what? It is what it is, bro. If I got to be a hypocrite in this instance to meet one of my favorite artists all the time, y'all wouldn't get it. That's cool, But I think putting the other shit in here where I don't really think it really plays a part into what people are seeing or saying. Granted, I don't know what he's being DM'd or what he's, being given in terms of like insults or threads about him. I don't know. But just seeing this as it is, it's a pretty blatant, flaw in consistency. At least in my opinion. Like, I don't think that you could look at this and be like, oh yeah, you've been standing on business with this whole situation. I don't think this is standing on business. But it is what it is, I was told it's more similar to clarinet. Wait, I didn't know. I thought she was talking to me. He basically saying y'all listen to niggas who do worse than what Kanye did, like sexual abusers. I mean, of course, that don't change the fact that, this is what happened. It's not like you shouldn't turn this into like a whataboutism situation. Do you want people's goal to be as consistent? People change all the time. That's not what I'm saying, bro. Growing from a perspective that you had is completely different from saying that you disavow a certain type of behavior from certain people, but other people do it. And as long as you get to meet them and they fall under the context of your hero or your idol, then those same beliefs go out the window when it comes to them. That's completely different. That's not the same thing. Like, growing and changing your perspective are different than just completely dropping your logic.
It's unfair to hold someone who deals with mental illness to same type of standards.
You don't. It would just be better or easier to not be around a type of person like that, I would say. But I'm not him. I wouldn't be able to say like, oh, this is the person who, he has to stand on what I would do. I'm not telling him that or saying that about anybody. I'm just saying for me personally, if I'm, trying to be consistent, I wouldn't get on here and talk about like, oh, y'all listen to artists that beat people up and they sexually assault women.
I'm just hoping he's talking to Kanye and fixing up his beliefs.
I doubt it.
Peggy has seemed to be a pretty hard leftist, but then again, Vac was about him shedding that identity to basically become this.
I never looked at him as a leftist or I never looked at him as that. But I look at this and I'm just like, just doing all of that is completely fine. But when you try to justify it is when you get into shaky water, when you're trying to explain that ideology to people and then you want them to also make it make sense, and it doesn't make any sense. You could just meet them and then just not say anything, because like you be in better water just taking the flick and just posting it and doing whatever else the fuck you want to do. But when you try to like justify it, it's like you can't justify every action. You just can't, based on the things that you've said about other artists in the past. You can't. If it was me, and it's not, but if it was me, I'm taking a flick. And I'm letting niggas be mad, or I'm letting niggas call me out, because that's what should happen. You want to do that? All right, cool. That's just what it is, man. Especially when Kanye endorses those rappers that Peggy describes. So exactly. He has all those same people on his records as well. He also called those same people out, saying that Kanye wants to work with all these people, all these horrible people, but he won't work with me. Then when he finally works with you, like, now you shifting the blame back to the people that listen to those artists as well. It's just like, all right, bro, like, it don't matter. Like, you're going to find a level of logic to make you feel comfortable with the decision that you made. And I think that's you. But you can't make people look at your decision and be like, oh, yeah, I'm cool with that. Because they're going to look at that as hypocritical, which is fine. But I linked that into the next shit with the J. Cole in the Kodak situation, because all of this stems from people feeling like artists who are held to such high standards never stand on business when it comes to real life shit. Musically, if I'm able to take an opportunity and put
Peggy got a whole album called Communist Slow Jams. He definitely a leftist. But it seems like the money being changing his opinion.
I still wouldn't categorize him as that. But it puts things in a perspective that, like, what do y'all really be talking about? And you're not culturally shocking me or nothing when you do shit like this, because in my mind, I don't hold y'all to that high of a standard. I don't put y'all up here on this pedestal. I don't do none of that. What ends up being the issue is when people see this and they start like defending it, saying like, oh yeah, this about to be fire, this about to be amazing, and then they still say Cole is one of the most conscious, Kendrick is one of the most conscious. Like, you can't say that and then at the same time look at a collaboration like this, knowing the type of person that Kodak has claimed himself to be, and be like, oh yeah, let's all collectively join in on this listening experience. You can't do that in good faith, while at the same time claiming to be like, oh yeah, these are two of the most culturally or consciously rich artists that we have in the rap game right now. You can't say that. You can't say that. You just can't, bro. And I could get it or understand it if Kodak Black was like, not even just Kodak, but certain artists had like a monopoly over rap to a point where they could push other acts out. Like, it's not the same thing as somebody saying, oh, I don't agree with child labor or whatnot, but I got an iPhone. And one of the most easy accessible phones that you can get and use for service, for social media, for contacting people, for having conversation, for doing business, for working on school shit is an Apple product. There are thousands of other artists that you can listen to as opposed to a Kodak Black. It's not the exact same thing. I get it, but you're not hitting the same demographic when you talk about these things. I can see if you even tried to reach out to an artist that was like, okay, this nigga, he understands what he did. He gets that he was wrong. He's informing himself. He's reforming himself. He's doing the work. He's doing the work. This nigga not even trying. He got on a record to joke about him getting off. Y'all are not conscious. Y'all are people that enable it. And then you get on records preaching to niggas that have significantly less money than you about how big brain you are, and it's not. If niggas want to call you out and call you a hypocrite, they can, and they will, and they should. And you can't be mad at them for that. You dead cannot be mad. Take the heat you put yourself in. Take the heat that you put yourself in, but also don't claim to be like this. I get the, I didn't get it before when niggas was saying it, like the fake woke ass nigga shit. I didn't get it before, but I get it. I understand what they're trying to say. I do. In the fan base, bro, just don't enable it. It's cool to just be like, all right, bro, you just not standing on business. You just not gonna stand on it. It is what it is. But I'm tired of niggas trying to like coddle their favorite artist, bro. Like you either made a mistake or you having trouble being consistent. One of the two. It's all right, bro. Do your thing, Slim, but I'm listening to you different now. That's all. Were allegations real? If so, why is J. Cole there? Yes, they were. There's a conviction. There was a kid done. She was underage. It is real. It is correct. It is true. Artists are not role models. 100%. You're 100% correct. 100% correct.